Here at Floors, Josh Abbott hanging out. What's going on, man?
Just ready to play another show here at one of my favorite places to play in Texas.
Absolutely. I got to tell you, first of all, this shirt is fantastic right here.
You.
I was going to wear that
Look,
one.
You've got,
dude,
some
I'm
pattern
trying
as well.
It's too hot, and you got to be able to have a little air conditioning in here, a little circulation. So, first of all, man, I got to tell you, we got the Texas Made show, obviously, that we've been doing for a little bit now.
Hell yeah.
And,
Thanks for doing that.
Absolutely.
I'm always love to hear that.
Long time coming.
Yeah.
This way we can play a lot more Josh Abbott Band.
Hey, not just us, all of us.
Everybody.
The Texas country thing is a massive, fan attraction in Texas. And I think for a lot of years, in general, it's kind of been left out of mainstream radio. There's been some outliers along the way, right? Pat Green and we could go through the whole list. Us even. I mean, I'm not upset. I mean, Y100 has played us for 10 years now, so I'm, not saying that we haven't been shown love, but it's just nice that y'all have that Texas playlist and to think that now a lot of other bands will get that moment to be on your radio stations, which is really huge to people. I mean, the reach y'all have and the amount of people that listen to y'all is a powerful thing, and you might be the difference between someone who's selling 100 tickets, now they're selling 500. Or maybe they were selling 500 and now they're going to sell 2,000. I mean, that's what it did for us.
Thank you.
Before y'all started playing us on the radio, dude, oh my gosh, we were playing to like 300 people in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And it quickly went to like 3,000.
I think the last time you were here at Floors, it was packed too with William Clark Green when y'all were here. Like, that show killed.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
Was great. That was an awesome one, man. I love playing down here. But anyway, so thank you. I'm pumped that y'all have this Texas opportunity now for people.
So something we do on Texas Made is we usually do this at the end, but we're going to do it at the beginning this time because some of the big news from you recently, obviously, was that you're singing the jingle for DQ.
Yeah.
So not to bite DQ or anything.
DQ. I probably can't even sing the full thing because,
Can you do it?
You guys might have just advertising competition with someone that pays y'all to.
I'm okay with it if you're okay with it.
That's what I like about Texas.
There it is. So we actually do a thing called That's What I Like About Texas.
It on there? I'm trying to remember how I actually sang it.
You just do it your way, man, and that's the way.
But yeah, DQ, that was a kind of a neat little deal. Obviously it's it's just cool that we're in a position that when a major brand like that comes along and says we need to redo this staple and it needs to have a Texas stamp on it still, and the guy for that is Josh Abbott. That's an honor, to me.
That's
to
huge.
Be, synonymous with Texas.
Yeah.
In the way that I think that we've grown our music to be.
Well, and you absolutely are, though. Like, when I think about Texas and Texas country, there is no doubt that Josh Abbott is included in that, especially now, too, because, like, we're transitioning into a point where it's, like, almost like we have, like, new standards. And when you go out to, like, the dance halls and everything like that, if they're not playing Josh Abbott, leave.
Yeah.
They can go back to wherever they're from out west or whatever. But,
yeah,
it's a must. So that's what I like about Texas. We do this on the show, and I kind of got it from there, but, we kind of put our little spin on it. So the top 3 things that you love about Texas, Josh Abbott edition.
Top 3 things I love about Texas. Great. Okay. 1, Texas country. I know that's a cop-out, but I say that because it's more than just the music. It's the fact that we have our own music that represents our culture. I think the word culture sometimes gets tossed around in ways that, maybe sometimes Americans feel like we don't have a certain culture, right? Because if you think of, like, culture that exists for thousands of years in other countries, right? If you think of Ireland, you think of kilts. And if you think of Spain, you think of, bullfighters and conquistadors. And, you can think about that. I think for Texas, it's like, hey, I mean, we wear cowboy hats and we have our own Texas country music and people who are massive stars in the state of Texas, and they might not even really be known that much if you go to, New York City. So I think that that's my number 1 thing because I think it's super important to who we are as a people.
Absolutely.
All right. Number 2, favorite thing about Texas, Texas Tech University. That's my alma mater.
Yep.
I bleed the red and black, and so I've got to list Texas Tech in my top 3. Number 3, Texas. That's a good one. I mean, because there's so many things you like about Texas, right? I mean, I think I really appreciate the range in geography and topography per se, right? Like you can be in East Texas and be covered in pines, right? Mm-hmm. And you can go to Marfa, Texas and be looking for miles and you know, you can be, you know, in the mountains at the Davis Mountains out there in West Texas, or you can be at the beach, you know, outside of Galveston or, you know, South Padre Island or Port A.
We've got so much room for activities.
And then all in between, you got the hill country. Yeah. And so I think it's just really interesting. And I guess can I add one to that?
Yeah.
Hunting. I love hunting.
Yeah.
And in Texas, there's so many things you can hunt. It's not just like white-tailed deer. I mean, you got dove, you got pheasant up in the Panhandle, you got quail in spots, you got duck, obviously, and geese and crane, but then you got, you know, alligator hunting is in September, and you can do antelope hunting in the Panhandle. And
I'm pretty sure, like, the boots you're wearing, like, you killed these yourself, right?
I didn't kill those.
Oh, man, okay. Well, never mind.
But anyway, I don't want to ramble too much, but you can hunt elk in the mountains of Fort Davis, the Davis Mountains, right? You can hunt nilgai down in the flats, coastal areas near King Ranch.
Is your freezer pretty stocked up?
It's
right
pretty
now?
full. Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell I'm going on too much for this.
No, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, I would say just the ability to hunt such a wide range of different animals in an ethical way.
Yeah.
And to be able to harvest that meat.
Yes.
I think it's just cool.
I literally just cooked up some backstrap.
Love it.
This afternoon.
It's tough to be
from
good
the deer that
backstrap.
I got over like Christmas break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So
yeah. Nicely done.
and it's a good day.
Yeah.
My belly's nice and full.
There you
and,
go.
I'm very, very thankful for that. So talking about Texas and everything too, man. I just want to say this real quick. It doesn't get much more Texas than Josh Abbott because, like, we talk about She's Like Texas.
Yeah.
My Texas.
Right.
We talk about Girl Down in Texas.
Yeah. We have a lot of Texas.
How many more, like, you may have more Texas songs than anybody. I just want to throw that out there, like, for folks that don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and then now I'm in, you know, I've got a side project called the Panhandlers.
That's right.
And we have songs. West Texas is the best Texas. That'll be on the next record, actually.
Okay.
But on the last record, we had West Texas in My Eye. And so, I don't know. I guess I'm just going to be a Texas guy. I sure don't mean to be that. And I'm actually, it's funny you said, because ever since we put the 2017 album out, Until My Voice Goes Out, that's the record that had Girl Down in Texas, along with Texas Women, Tennessee Whiskey. And I swore that's the last time I'm putting a song on a record
that has Texas in the
that
title?
has the word Texas in the title.
It's strong.
I don't want to have like 10 of them, right? And then all night I'm just singing Texas, which probably nothing wrong with that, right? People love that, but also, you know, people when we go to Oklahoma probably don't want to hear half our set about Texas.
Well,
so I gotta be conscious of it.
Yeah, kind of pick and choose.
I gotta pick and choose.
So let's talk about one of the things with the show and being able to play more Josh Abbott Band on Y100. Folks that may not know your music as much from like the early days or that are like just getting into stuff, can you talk a little bit about when you're at Tech and you put the whole band together and how that came about?
Yeah, I mean, every band has their story, right? So ours is, I was playing guitar in college and I really enjoyed doing it. In my fraternity, there were some talented guys that played instruments as well, and so we started playing for fun, put a little band together, and at that moment in time, we were trying to figure out a cool name, but at that moment in time, Randy Rogers Band and Eli Young Band were the bands that the college kids were listening to. We'd go to Blue Light and watch those bands play. So the whole band was kind of like, why don't we just call it after you, Josh Abbott Band? I'm like, I don't know. And so it took a little bit of convincing, to be honest, because I thought it'd be cooler if we had a name, right? Like a cool name. I think I wanted us to be called the pallbearers, you know, the idea of like guys who would be there when the other one died, like to be their pallbearer. But the guys were like, that's way too dark.
Kind of dark, yeah.
It's kind of dark. Like, that sounds like a metal band or something. So I was like, all right. So we just stuck with Josh Abbott Band. And anyway,
keep it simple.
A couple years into it, you know, we decided maybe we ought to take this serious. People really dig Taste, the little song that we put out. And so we decided to get a little more serious with it, and a couple of the guys dropped out because they said, well, we were just doing it for fun. We don't want to – this isn't what we want to do with our life. One of the guys stuck with me. He's still with me now, our banjo player, Austin. And then we met our drummer, Eddie. And then for a long time we had Preston. He was in the band from 2008 to 2020.
Yeah.
You know, 12 years.
I just saw him with Brothers Osborne.
Yeah,
here
he's
a while
with
back,
Brothers
so
Osborne
that
now,
was good.
and we're pumped for him. He's such a talented, great guy, and we're happy for him. He's
Good.
really
he
loving
came out and
his
sang
new
some
gig.
Pat Green actually too.
Oh, did he really?
Bros were just kind of taking a break, and he just kind of took over. For
He
a little
came
bit
out.
there.
That's so cool.
I think it was.
I didn't know that.
I think he sang "Carry On." I think.
sang
or no,
Carry
it was
On.
"Take Me Out to the Dance Hall." That's what he sang.
Did he really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so cool.
And he was doing it all that night.
Yeah,
So.
Preston's the man. So Preston, you're the man. But anyway, he's not with us anymore. But he was a big part of our chapter, and there were some other guys too that were with us for a decade, and now we're kind of almost in a new chapter. It's almost like the third chapter of our band, right?
Yeah.
There's like the beginning stage, and then we caught a lot of success, had some really great albums and songs, and pretty much the same core band members for a really long time.
Yeah.
And then now, kind of post 2020, we're in a kind of a new world where we have a new guitarist and a new fiddle player, and we're kind
Are
of
you
filling
recording
it
with
out.
all the guys too?
Well, we just recorded a new album that'll come out next year, and yeah, we recorded with a different guitar player and a different fiddle player.
Okay.
Than
But all your guys though,
yeah,
for the most part.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
So
good.
We try not to bring in too many outside musicians on our band projects. Our guys are more than capable of doing it. So yeah.
Well, let's talk about Highway Kind. I mean, this album's been out for a little bit, and when I first started hearing some of the songs, like I remember seeing you at Cowboys, and I loved "Ought to Get Drunk."
Love it.
That was
It's a
on
fun song.
that was on the EP, obviously.
We should play that more often. I don't know why we don't play that.
Little More You,
Yep.
fire.
Great song. Thank you.
Where I Want to Be, fire. 24/7, 365,
Man.
fire. I mean, there was like so many though.
Thank you.
Let's talk specifically about "Settle Me Down." This
Settle
is
Me
the
Down.
greatest Josh Abbott Band song of all time. What makes
I
it
agree,
that?
and thank you for saying that, because I know old school fans, if they're still watching, people's attention spans are pretty short these days.
Oh,
but
we'll take
break it up
little
into- break
we'll
this
take
up
little
into
clips. Yeah,
all right? Everyone has their old school favorites, and
Yeah.
it's really tough for an artist who's been around for a while to be able to convince fans that a newer song should be their favorite. It's very difficult, because for basically 10 years, it was either She's Like Texas or Oh Tonight. That was someone's favorite. We put those songs out in 2010. So
Texas classics.
I
at
think
this
we
point.
finally, and I still think there's a lot of people, it's going to be hard to convince them that those aren't their favorite. But when we put Settle Me Down out on the last record, I genuinely think enough people were like, wow, this is actually probably the best song they've recorded. And I think it really gained us a lot of new fans, and our Spotify listenership has soared through the roof. I would imagine it's the same on other platforms as well, but our streaming numbers have done well on it. I mean, currently right now that song is almost 2 years old, and it's streaming 1 million times a week.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Talk about that
For
song.
us, anyway. That's insane for us.
Talk about how it relates to your own life.
Well, yeah, I wrote it about my wife, and wrote it with a couple buddies of mine that are actual they're Texans. I want to say former Texans. Once a Texan, always one. But guys who were in the Texas country scene early on, and then they ended up going out to Nashville and becoming songwriters. So shout out Ryan Beaver and Josh Jenkins. But yeah, I sat down with those guys and wrote "Settle Me Down," and kind of knew we had something special immediately. We even talked about pitching it, but ended up staying with me and the band, and I'm super grateful because it truly has given our band new life. I think as we've gotten older, it's like, okay, we don't just have to play the older songs we recorded 10 years ago. It's like, no, we can continue to make really great music, and people will care.
Yeah.
So I think "Settle Me Down" raised the bar for us, and on this next record that we're going to put out, hopefully we'll have one to answer the call.
Let's talk about the next record, because I know a lot of the guys, after talking to them, especially after we got through all the crazy stuff like the last couple of years, everybody's just been stockpiling stuff. So did you have like a big stash you've been writing a lot? Or?
A little bit, yeah. I
Okay.
go to Nashville once a month to write, and then that doesn't include what I might write down the road or write at home. It doesn't happen as much as you would think, because sometimes on the road I just want to decompress and not do anything.
Yeah.
And when I'm at home, I'm actually most of the time I'm a dad.
Yeah.
I'm with my kids. They're
right.
young, they're little, so I don't just get a ton of free time to sit around and write songs. But I do make a habit of going to Nashville once a month for a few days and writing with friends there. So, yeah, man, we have a lot of songs to choose from. It's kind of hard to narrow it down. You almost have to narrow it down not by what the best song is or what your favorite songs are, but which ones fit together. Because songs that are super country, old school, honky tonk might not fit with something that sounds a little bit more modern, or something that sounds a little bit more vintage, in a different way.
Yeah. And you gotta Have you narrowed it down to like which ones you're going to go with?
We'll see.
Or,
We'll see.
Okay,
we
still
recorded 11 songs
Okay.
in March. I think that's when we went studio. Yeah, March. And we're working on them now. We're kind of just now finishing them up. We've been busy for the last few months, but I'm about to finish recording vocals. The guys will sing their harmonies.
Okay.
And then we will see what we have.
Yeah.
And we're not in any rush, no pressure. The next thing we're actually going to put out pretty soon here is a fun little EP of cover songs that I did with some friends.
Okay.
So don't want to ruin it. Get the cat out of the bag, but
Okay.
keep your eye peeled very soon.
Is it full band
For
or is it
me,
acoustic?
It's full band
Okay.
featuring other artists.
Okay.
Friends of ours, and there's going to be several volumes. This will be volume 1, and we're going to release some fun songs. So that'll kind of get us through the rest of this year.
Josh
with
Abbott
new
and
music.
Friends, kind of.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And that'll get us through the rest of this year, and then really 2023 will be the year where we're releasing brand new studio music that you haven't never heard before, and
Nice.
hopefully hopefully it'll do well.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. I know the Y100 family is looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Send me all
Thanks,
that,
man. Okay.
so we can
All
get
right.
some more stuff on.
I'll let you know.
And we'll talk again here real soon, okay?
Okay, man. Thank you for doing everything that you do for us.
Thank you, Josh.